Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fintech Times. I'm Tyler, and I'm very happy to be here at Sibos 2022, which is held in lovely Amsterdam this year. Very nice. And I'm joined today by the wonderful John Mitchell, the CEO and co-founder of Episode 6. John, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
Lovely. You've traveled all the way here from Austin, Texas, you mentioned.
From Austin, Texas. That's
Wow.
right. That's where our company's headquartered. And about a third of our employee base is in or around Austin.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Well, you've come a long way to talk to me today, so thank you very much for that. We're very, very excited to have our conversation on everything Episode 6 is doing. But before we carry on with that, why don't you tell our audience just a little bit about who you are and what Episode 6 sets out to achieve?
Yeah, no, thank you. I am from Austin, Texas. All three co-founders of Episode 6 are in Austin, Texas. And that's where we have built our company that now operates on 4 continents with a mission to provide configurable payment technology that allows our clients to build out products and services that their customers demand, whether they're merchants or consumers, rather than to be restricted by legacy technology.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for that introduction. But as the co-founders you mentioned, what made you reject financial legacy systems?
You know, we spent a lot of time in payments. We've worked all over the world, and we've seen a constant theme that it is very difficult to provide local needs unless you're a local company. And so we decided that our solution would be to provide a system that can be used anywhere. It's literally location agnostic, but can be localized through this hyper configurability so that our clients feel like they have customized systems and payment technology. We recognized very early on that to do this, we would have to start from scratch. We would have to create purpose-built technology, and that's what we've done.
Fantastic. So you're sort of building from the ground up in a way.
We built from the ground up.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. In terms of payment technology, we've seen a lot of innovation in that area. It's really emphasized by Sibos this year, I really feel, with so many banks and payment service providers on the floor today. One really hot topic of the industry that sort of has been kept quite persistent is cryptocurrency. And we see a lot of sometimes fluff pieces. We see a lot of serious data as well, and everything in between, about the use of crypto, and especially in terms of how it's being used now and how it could be used in the future. Do you see right now as crypto being a viable way to complete a transaction? And what hurdles must the industry overcome to achieve that?
I do see it as a viable way to complete some transactions.
Okay.
It's completely dependent upon the cryptocurrency being accepted through the world's traditional financial systems, and that's not always the case. And so that is something that is being worked on in many places across many financial institutions and many companies. But the reality is that during this crypto winter, there seems to be, this is my perception, there seems to be a bit of a pause.
Yeah.
And I think that many organizations want to wait and see where the dust settles.
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Definitely, in light of sort of the last few months, it's not been the most positive situation.
It's been a different situation, you know, and I think that there are ups and downs, and we're in a down cycle, obviously, and we'll see where this all plays out. I do think that this conference seems to be more focused on wholesale banking and B2B payments, and there seems to be a lot of interest around being able to modernize B2B payment stacks and to be a lot more efficient and to be able to offer new types of services around these B2B payments, such as installments and other things.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as you mentioned, I think the industry has a lot of thinking to do as to where its sort of next move is with crypto. In terms of your year at Episode 6 so far for 2022, of course, we're sort of on the edge of the pandemic, touch wood. But I was just wondering, in terms of your use cases and that your company has seen this year, what's been your favorite?
I think my favorite has been what I just alluded to, which is these B2B payments that are being wrapped around installments.
Really?
Mass payouts, and for us it's really been encouraging to see the demand around this because our system is well suited for these types of products. It is great to be back. This conference has been pretty exciting so far. Yeah. There seems to be a buzz around that I didn't feel before the pandemic necessarily, and obviously during the pandemic it didn't exist. So I think everybody's glad to be back, and people are all meeting and talking about how do we improve payments.
I could be mistaken, but I think this is the first Sibos they've held in like a year or 2 years or something because of the COVID?
It's the first in-person Sibos since 2019 in London.
Yeah. I wasn't in the 2019 ones. It's a great experience for me as sort of one of the first time to be here. What I did notice is there's a lot of obviously banks here at the moment and a lot of fintechs. Yeah. And I was just sort of wondering about the relationship between the two. I mean, do banks need fintechs more than fintechs need banks? And what are the advantages of the two coming together? I mean, are they standalone entities, or should they be working completely one on top of each other? What's your view on that?
They need each other, is my view. And so we went through a cycle where fintechs were taking share from financial institutions. And of late, financial institutions, I think, have accepted the fact that they need to adjust and modernize. And so I think that the modernization processes that we've seen evolve over the last several years has accelerated. And because of that, there is more of a demand to work closely with some of these fintechs. The fintechs that have proved that they're resilient and that they have the capacity to work with large financial institutions. For fintechs, particularly now in a down cycle, it's important to work with large entities that are stable and can in many ways potentially support these fintechs and keep them robust so that they can continue to innovate and create new and interesting products and services.
You're absolutely right. I think it's all about making sort of the right selection, isn't it?
It's always about the right selection, and it's about somebody at the financial institution having the insight to understand how an outside company can actually help them within their own organization and their own organization's processes. It's about the fintechs doing what they need to do to make sure that they are creating robust offerings that aren't just a front end that sits on top of something that's stitched together, so that an investor can see there's a lot more to it.
The sort of the end value, I guess.
Yeah.
In your introduction to this interview, you talked about hyper configurability and being able to sort of cherry pick the elements of the services that you wanted. Do you ever think that like hyper personalization of services is fragmenting the services too much? Can personalization ever go too far? I mean, it's touted to be such a great thing, but I'm just wondering, when does it turn sour?
I think it turns sour when personalization equals customization. Customization is hard to support. Customization requires separate lines for everything that a supporting company is doing. And what that does is that creates a situation where disparate systems evolve, and over time things like interoperability and commonality disappear, so that managing these systems becomes quite onerous. Hyper configurability on the same code base, which is what we do, is completely different. So all of our clients can feel like they have a bespoke offering, but it is the same code, and it's an assembly of plugins that at runtime provides the personality that our clients want. And so bespoke configurability is what our clients get.
Bespoke configurability. And in terms of, I mean, today at Sibos we're talking about progressive finance, right?
Yep.
And sort of it's the overarching topic of the whole conference. What makes a payment technology future ready in today's landscape?
Well, when we look at our technology, we see that we've created something that was built to be adjusted. We literally can modify the logic and the behavior in a short period of time. because we know that the payments landscape is evolving and that evolution is accelerating. So the ability to understand that when we start a project today, in 2 years, when the product is mature, the market will have changed. And so being able to adjust very quickly is critical, and being able to make changes is critical. Otherwise, we'll fall back into the exact same situation we've been in.
Yeah, it's about being able to meet demand and the changing demand, and having a quicker reaction time as well.
That's right, a quicker reaction time. In many cases, being able to make adjustments in market, and maybe in a no-code way, so that IT staffs aren't taxed and burdened with some of these lesser types of requirements.
We've seen a lot of low-code and no-code sort of solutions come forward, which is a really, really exciting trend in payments right now, and something you've touched upon really well. In terms of, more specifically, your attendance at Sibos this year, what are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to the opportunity to be out there and to talk to all of these prospects. There is I call it an avenue, there is a lane down the middle of this hall that is spectacular for a company like ours. And I just want to spend, as soon as we get out of here, I'm going to go walk it, meet people, meet and greet, talk about what we do, and find out where we can actually help some of the world's largest financial institutions.
Fantastic. Well, we won't keep you for a moment longer, John, but thank you so much for coming to speak to us again today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hopefully we'll catch up before Sibos finishes. Yeah, it'll be really, really good. So thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
enjoy your walk.
Thank you.